Good morning. It's 10 to 8. Coming up after 8, all your latest news, traffic, travel and weather. But first, not every student in Manchester is up all night partying or making a mess of the Hall of Residence common room. Heaven forbid.
Dad told us.
How rude. Hello, welcome to my cribs. Well, halls of residence. I'm one of 50,000 students in Manchester, although considered to be not your typical student. How rude! How rude! How rude! How rude!
He's definitely a character, not a normal student.
Doesn't go out to the nightclubs, doesn't really bring the girls back.
He's not a student really, he just lives here.
Don't really see many Williams walking down the street.
And this is the common room, common being the operative word. As you can see, it's got everything that we need as students. You can kick off your shoes and sit down at this table where we have our breakfast, luncheon and dinner. And we can discuss the day's events, which we do after reading the morning newspaper. Let's repair into the kitchen and I'll show you that. Well, Mrs. Beaton's having handsprings in her grave. It's not as clean as I'd like it, but it makes do. There's my pasta from last night. There are all sorts of utensils in here, which is just great. There's the oven. I do a lot of baking. I've made brownies, Victoria sponges, cookies, but today, just for you, I've made these wonderful cupcakes. Ooh, ding dong, lovely. Okay, we'll come in now into the bedroom. This is where the magic is supposed to happen. Do please come in. One thing that marks me out from other students, I'm told, is my attire. I like to dress smartly at all times as it makes the mind function smartly. Let's have a look in my wardrobe. As you can see, I like to lay out everything neatly so I can see what's there. Please note that I have shoes, not trainers, and my shoes are kept in place and in good shape with shoe trees. This is one of my favourite shirts. Oh, good. That's not ironed at all. I think we need to iron that. Now, I always like to wear a nice, crisp shirt because it means that I can look that extra bit smarter than your average student. Starching my cuffs is also very important to me, as well as my collars, because that adds that extra little bit of precision. Well, here we have the bathroom cum lavatories. Come and have a look. Not many students can be found in here, except for after their antics of the night before. Here are the shower cum bath, the Bates Motel shower curtain. And here we have the sinks, which not many students actually use after they've been to the lavatory. More's the pity. Oh, he didn't use them, obviously. Do excuse me. Right, well, thank you very much for visiting. Now, I've got a lot to get on with, so if you wouldn't mind going just that way, please, that would be great. Thank you. Bye-bye. Shoo, off you go. Chop, chop. Spit spot. Thank you. Ta.
Fair to say that told us, and Master of Manners William Hanson joins us now with more on why we should be celebrating our uniqueness. You've not got your spray with you, have you?
No aerosols
no,
here.
There are some pungent smells around the Channel M studio. Have you always been like this? Have you always, you know, sort of been very, you know, sort of precise with your clothes and everything?
Yes, probably more so than your average person. I mean, it's just what I was sort of brought up to do. My mother's very neat, and that sort of has rubbed off. Now, my brother, on the other hand, is the polar opposite of me, so it hasn't worked on all her children.
And obviously the way you are is very different to most students, as we've seen. How do you fit into student life? You know, what do they make of you?
Well, at first I was very worried, because I thought, oh heavens, I think I am a little different.
Just a little.
Yeah. What's it going to be like? And actually, it was much better than I thought it was going to be, and I made a lovely group of new friends. Some of them are on that VT. And it's been quite straightforward and easy, touch wood. But I know for some people, I know they find it very difficult moving from their school that they may have been at for several years to university, because suddenly, you know, there's no comfort blanket of the same buildings, the same people, the same faces. So I was very lucky, but I know there have been others that have initially struggled.
Mm-hmm. More to the point, do you tolerate others?
Oh yes, no, definitely, yes. Also
so you don't mind the untidy kitchen, the bathroom and so on?
Once in a while, no. It does begin to grate. It's unnecessary untidiness that I don't like, and, you know, just carelessness and lack of consideration for others that really begins to get up my goat.
Now, most students, obviously, as we've said, they spend their evenings partying, things like that. That's not something you enjoy doing. You don't drink.
Not partyings of the typical student variety.
Yes, in the student way. So what's your idea? What's your way of partying?
I think a dinner party, probably.
Okay.
But no, you can't really do dinner parties in student halls of residence. You can if you really push yourself. I wasn't brave enough to even try, though I am beginning to. I've moved into some other accommodation where I will be, and it's dinner parties are on the front of my mind. But you can have a social life without getting unnecessarily drunk, doped and disorderly. You can. It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I totally respect you because they do say manners cost nothing, and
Exactly.
I think a lot of people watching this will think, well, it would be nice to return to those days where gentlemen are gentlemen.
I think it would be, and these etiquette rules, I always say, and these rules of courtesy, they haven't been thought up overnight. They're not there to annoy people. They have actually grown over centuries, and if we actually abide by them, life would be so much easier.
But do you not sometimes just think, oh, when someone annoys you, just to be nice, pleasant all the time and always look smart, do you never just think, oh, I want an off day?
Well, I have to say Victor Meldrew and I have a lot in common. I know I have to be this etiquette and polite, etc. But yes, there are some times where I think, oh, and I just want to shout and rant, but I have restrained it. Although in a local supermarket, it drives me up the wall, the people in there. It just seems to be that particular supermarket. So that I have been pushed to the limit.
I think we must go to the same one.
Yes, oh, right, okay.
But can you ever be spotted in the supermarket in tracksuit bottoms and a hoodie?
Oh, well, I wouldn't wear a hooded sweatshirt. No.
Okay.
But I do own a pair of tracksuit bottoms somewhere. I don't know where.
You're originally from Bristol. Do you find north-south divide? Do you find in Manchester we're any different in terms of our manners?
I think you're nicer. I think generally the Mancunians are a very warm and friendly people, and I like them. I've actually decided to live here after I finished university, so I like it that much. So and actually going down south, it just feels, in areas, certainly in Bristol, it just feels a bit claustrophobic. I think also because Bristol is a smaller city, Manchester's colossal. But even in London, which I always wanted as a child to live there, it's not great. I mean, I like it, but I wouldn't want to live there. It's just everyone's so unfriendly.
Yes.
And no one smiles at you, and over here, it's much better.
So if there are other students out there who are like you, what kind of advice would you give them?
Please get in contact with me, because I'd like to meet you, is the thing. That's probably the biggest one. But no, just go on being yourself, as long as it's not annoying others or it's not, harming others in an emotional sense, then go on doing it, because, individuality should be celebrated. And we can't all be clones and sheeps and follow the crowd and all go out and get drunk, because life would be so boring.
Absolutely.
Quite right. Thank you very much, William.
Thank you very much for having me.
Invite Polly and I for dinner one night.
Oh, yes.
I'd love to come to one of your dinner parties.
Yes.
We could do a come dine with
Yes.
me.
I promise I shan't burp. Right, we'll be back after the break with all the latest news, traffic, travel and weather. We'll see you soon.